Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It is Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, July 24th, 2025. It is hot here. So, yes, we are thirsty. I'm out here in Michigan. I'm sure there's warmer places out there. But anyway, we're going to take a look at SPX. It's just constantly just gapping up and kind of grinding its way up. Now, is this a breakout? Or is this a fake out? I guess that's the big question here. I'm also going to look at NDX and the VIX and go through these indicators super quick. So let's make this video very fast. And we're in earnings season. So the real big picture is coming up on the weekend. You know, we're looking at what we've been eyeballing is the monthly and now the weekly candles. Are any of those going to be reversal type candles into this historic trend line area? That's the big question. Those are the higher time frames. One day could easily take back most of this trade here, and that would give us a wick on the higher time frames. So that's why the close is going to be so important coming up this week, and even more importantly next week with the monthly candle. Okay, so if something is going to happen, it's likely to happen within that range. All right, let's take a quick look at NDX and then we'll go through everything on SPX. I thought this was kind of interesting. It's a chart that I had up. I modified this one right here to get 2 peaks, if not 4 peaks there, all coming into conjunction here. As price gets higher, you know, you move the trend lines and such, and we're back testing once again, all of here in this confluence. So let's see if this does anything at all. I'm not making any sort of call on this just because I moved some lines around, but I thought it was interesting. So we'll take a look at that. Anything to show? How about a money flow? No, we can look at the cues later maybe. Here's the awesome oscillator. All the divergences. Nothing's really different. Let's see if we have a count. We had that 13 count there, and we're just moving incrementally higher from this peak. So yeah, nothing really to show. So let's go ahead and go with these indicators. Everything is in a bullish posture. 8 EMA. So the momentum's still up. Trend is still up. Clone oscillator. This is a good one to kind of constantly bring up. This and the money flow index is my favorite. And so what we're looking at right now and what I think is happening is this was forming in top here. If we had to call this the same time frame, we made our top. We actually made a new high here. So let's call this the top here. Compare it to the top here. Okay. Then you got your correction within here, and you had the correction within here. Then you made a new high. All right, after just getting to bear territory, you made a new high that got you in bull territory. But a couple days later, on the 19th, the oscillator was heading lower, right where the purple arrow is pointing. But we made new highs here. Okay. So the big tech stocks were kind of holding things up. Well, same thing. You know, you made your high, you had your correction. We're making this new high yesterday, right, into bull territory. And now today we're coming out of it. Breadth that's getting weaker with a new high right here. And I feel like that's the same sort of situation that we're in. And so even though we may close a daily candle up above this 2008 trend line, just beware for how the week and the month closes. That's really important. And, you know, we'll each one, we get a close today above, we'll give that a little check mark for a possible breakout. And in order for me to accept this as a breakout, some sort of Elliott wave structure, we have to consider this being maybe a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Maybe we're getting into 3. But you have to really consider that this is a nesting down here. And now we're starting to break out and it should be pretty relentless to the upside. and it's just not a likely situation in my mind. But again, I've been talking about from here that we're in the danger zone and that we're going to reverse from here. So, there's other ways to think of it. There's FOMC next week, next Wednesday. Maybe that's what the market is kind of raising into, FOMC. So a couple ways to look at that. Okay. So far, the breadth is turning over, just really relying on big tech stocks. MACD, same thing. Nothing here. You have a Class B divergence here. Here, we haven't got the rollover yet. Nothing really to check up on, but we want to do this as often each and every day that we can, so we can learn to interpret these indicators and show what happens. So we got our 13.9 here. Do we get a 13.9 and then another 9? That's possible. We're at 6 already. I didn't think we'd get up there by 1, 2, 3, Let's go to SPY so we can check out. I was looking at time and price, and we are in this cluster here. It's a wide cluster from the 17th all the way up to the 28th, and then it kind of skips into another area here. So I haven't done this in a long time. I have these clusters here. Now let's see if we get a reversal out of it. Now on the weekly time frame, we do have a double, a little small cluster that's just isolated by itself on this week. So let's see what happens on that. I'll bring that back up in the weekly, this weekend's analysis. So here to bring up the divergences. The divergences continue. So we have the money flow index. It's the same thing. If not, further, we're moving up in price, and we're actually starting to roll over in the, we're starting to distribute, okay, in the money flow index. Not starting to, we have been. There's distribution here. Bollinger Band. All right, yesterday we did tag it because we did a video intraday. We didn't see that we tagged this by the end of the day. So we're at actually a sell signal right now. We're in overbought territory, well into the 86 area, almost 87. Overbought into the top of the Bollinger Band. This is an objective short. It was yesterday. I added on. I didn't add anything on today. No, I did not. I'm looking for VIX. I'm looking for a VIX setup though. Okay, Bollinger Bands, we have a setup there. Elliott Oscillator is still rolling over here. We have this move to the downside, and we're not quite getting over this peak yet. This still says that we're in a wave 3 into wave 5. Let's go over to the VIX. All right, so still in that wedge formation. And what I did was I drew another line here. Got that one from this low using the wick now. And we're on that low right now. So going into the minor low period here. So again, let's see if we get some sort of low in this period with this wedge setup. All right, they do play out. I promise you, they do play out. But you never know how many days it's going to take in order to gain that that base and that ground and get a breakout. Let's go back to SPY and the 65 so we can be on with our day. Okay, there's the wedges that form over and over and over. This wedge here, we have a throw over. If this is the true wedge for it, we're on top of it. Okay, so we'll be checking to see. And so that kind of depends on what your wave count is, right? So I was looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an inning diagonal here. And if this is an expanded flat, running flat for wave 4, then you're just getting this first wave 1, 2, and your 3, whatever 4 happens here, and 5. So there's only so much that we can stretch these Elliott waves for it to go further, all right, and be acceptable with the negative divergences and stuff like that. So could we get to the options expected move and around that area? Possibly. Also, this trade is not working out. We did have some decent hedges there, and so not that much of a burn, but yeah, we'll continue to. I'll get you another trade coming up here. Probably we'll do one maybe next week or so for the public. But we do these trades and explain these trades and talk through them for individual members and intraday members as well. So let's see here. Moving averages above. Bullish, bullish, bullish. MACD is actually turning positive there, still in the negative divergence. We need to break this high here for that to burn through. And right here, we're just in the near term. If we make a new high, I'm not sure if we made it. We have a 35.89, 35.98. So we actually made a negative divergence right here in the 65. So, and starting to curl over here on the slow stroke. So let's see if that gives us a sell signal. DMARC. I thought we were getting close to a sell signal. Yeah, so we had a 9 count, and now we're consolidating or possibly tapping for a reverse with this 9 count here. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4 going sideways. That could easily be negated at any time. Awesome oscillator. It looks like it did make a new high right there. So in my mind, this is still the same divergence, but this is all one move here. So with that said, doesn't have to. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, and maybe we get a wave 4 to hold a trend line and get a 5 for a new high, and that has a negative divergence in the near term. That's the things we're looking for on a traditional look. The money flow, wow, extremely overbought, just extreme in itself. That's a signal by itself. But again, you couldn't burn through that high right there. Okay, so there's no divergence. That was a correction. That was a new run. Let's see. Maybe we get a pullback and a lower high here. Pullback, higher high, and that would set us a divergence. Again, when you get those extreme readings, it doesn't have to get a divergence for it to cycle through and play out. Bollinger Band, sell signal, overbought, negative divergence. L8 oscillator, same thing as that awesome oscillator. So it made a new high here, and so that doesn't give us as much confidence. But from peak to peak, you have your divergence there from wave 3 to 5. But does this need a 3 in this lower time frame, 4, and then a 5, so it gets a lower high? That's what we'll be looking out for. All right, I think that's it, you guys. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member. It's a supporting membership, 99 cents, Discord, trade alerts. All right, we'll see you soon.